Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Sorry you're going to hear the fans today. If I turn them off, the room gets extremely hot. So, today we're going to start off with the local blood sugars. My blood sugars are 7.9, and I'm kind of all over the place. I will do a talk. I talked with my diabetic nurse yesterday, but that'll be a update coming in a bit. Time range is 89, which is okay. Above 5% below 6. We're still not at the super number, and at 89, which follows pretty much my last 2 weeks. Sorry. Average blood sugar is 6.5. So kind of have to modify those two numbers, and we'll get going. But that's where I am right now. Today, I really want to take a look at bringing back DSG. What is DSG? Well, you're going to have to watch the video to find out. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Okay, what is DSG? DSG is my abbreviation for Diabetic Support Groups. The internet for diabetes care has brought out so much more. Record keeping, sorry. Record keeping. Learning about your diabetes. 10, 15 years ago, that was unheard of. The internet was something new and exciting. But it didn't really pose that much. People were still going out and meeting. Now, everywhere you go, it's all this all the time. And I got to admit, I'm just as bad. I'll sit here and scroll for most of the day. But as opposed to the lone diabetics out there, having diabetes can still be a very isolated disease. imbalance, whatever you want to call it. You really need to get out and interact with other diabetics, see what's going on, learn from them. In the late 80s, pretty much all the 80s, early 90s, diabetic support groups were great. You went, you had a topic, you brought out a lot of new ideas that you could take back to your doctor. But where we are today, that's kind of all gone by the wayside. We need to learn how to be more adept and dealing with other type 1 diabetics. A lot of people like me have channels. I kind of wanted this to be more of, I would do a topic and people would watch it, bring back other ideas. And it hasn't materialized that way. And I'm trying to figure out how to do it. But diabetic support groups offers a social aspect. Sorry, my hand. And that social aspect can make having type 1 diabetes less cumbersome, less frightening. So, do we really need them nowadays? Well, there are so many different treatment options. Hearing how other people have gone through their treatments is awesome, and you could question them. If someone does a video, you can't really, yes, you could write down in the comments, and if the person does a Q&A back, then awesome. Sorry, here. But if you don't, it's kind of lost. I've done videos on researching and coming up, find out all you can about a topic and learning from this topic. But I think diabetic support groups offer social interaction, educational, and just being there for other diabetics. I still find it amazing when I come across another T1D. And I think that's partly because when someone says, "Oh, I'm a diabetic," you almost know for certain it's a type 2. And there's nothing wrong with being a type 2. And type 2s are just as serious as a type 1. People will always say, "Oh, are you diabetic? Do you have the good type or the bad type?" There is no good type or bad type. So, getting out there and meeting with people is awesome. People don't want to get out, go for a group, yet they'll go for coffee with a friend. And I think the stigma of diabetic support groups has always been, it's usually put in like a diabetics education center. It's later in the day, evening. And it's always sort of been a drag. Something I always thought would be awesome was like do a bowling night. Yes, it's important that you get out and learn about your diabetes, but get out and have some fun. Why does having diabetes, everyone's got to be so damn serious about it? You want to meet up with other diabetics and you go, I don't know, go to a sports game. I don't know, you guys come up with it. But don't sort of really start feeling isolated. Have a group. You can choose topics each week. You can have speakers come in. Something I always thought would be great would be sitting down with a diabetic nurse and asking her or your doctor, your endo, in a group setting and have them answer questions about T1D. So often, people are afraid to ask doctor in their own settings about themselves. And just do the generic topics, I think would offer a new diabetic or a diabetic who feels that they're on their own quite a bit. Could be a good way to go. I can remember going to my first diabetic support group. My dad was working down in Houston, Texas, and I went down to visit him because I was going to a private school up here. And he said, well, yeah, it'll be great. So we went, and there was a guy wearing this huge contraption on his stomach. And that was, where is it, a precursor to this. It was a precursor to the insulin pump. And I thought, oh, he must have it real bad. But it just pumped insulin. It didn't figure out carb ratios and the whole bit. So, as I said before, education is important, and diabetes support groups can offer an education. There is no set model, is what I was trying to say. You can get out, you can do things. I know when I worked for a grocery store here in Canada, you could book a walk with a dietitian, and they'd go through the whole store and they'd teach you how to read labels. It was awesome. And I really think getting back to this more one-on-one and not just necessarily watching us on screen, which is awesome, but learning how to live with your T1D, seeing it from others, develop your own role models. We learn from the best, and that would be how other T1Ds live their life. And with that, have a super day. Talk later. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.